Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this panel discussion on handling the ART pregnancies. We are privileged to have Dr. Bharti More and Dr. Prashant Jhende as the experts on the panel, and request all the panelists to be on the stage. Our panel comprises eminent gynecologists, obstetricians, and infertility consultants from all over Maharashtra. And I now request Dr. Arun to start the panel. We'll have to do it from here on.
Slide changes. Thank you, Ashwin, and welcome to all. Good morning. At the outset, we thank the organizer to giving us an opportunity to have this panel, and welcome the panelists. Good morning to you. Handling ART pregnancies always been an anxious moment. The aim of this panel is our demographic location. Keeping in mind, we have all the panelists who are from this particular part, and we'll try to make it simple, not really academic, but how do you manage at your clinic, because we all are having nursing homes. So one consultant and having multiple roles, right from physician to endocrinologist to intensivist, and taking decision on time. So keeping all these things in mind, we would like to have your inputs, and we'll come to a consensus where how best we can manage these patients. That name. Okay, anybody can take up. Can we have two mics are there? Yeah. Do we really need to handle ART pregnancies differently than the usual ANC care? What's your take, ma'am? Please.
Just say yes and just...
Yeah, yes, we should
the panel agrees that it should be handled separately.
separately.
Yes.
I differ. I say it should be handled like the same ANC care, but there is the difference. You should do in ART it is must. Only difference is that. Otherwise, you have to handle the pregnancy.
So one and the same thing, like, you need to take care, as the consensus of the panel says.
Hello.
Yes.
As the complication rate is more in these patients, they need special attention rather than special medications.
See,
so frequent follow-ups, frequent investigations are needed in these patients.
Yes, as rightly said.
Frequent counseling.
So yeah, the moral of the story is, sir, it has to be taken care with more attention and care, because it's not a routine antenatal patient. Because as it is, they come in elderly ages. Then with elderly age, you have the complications. There is a controlled ovarian hyperstimulation. The hormones itself will give complications like multiple pregnancies.
Yes,
so
right.
it has to be handled with a separate special attention. It cannot be as a routine antenatal patient who was conceived naturally, getting married within 6 months, she's pregnant. She's different and she's different.
Correct. So the consensus is you have to keep in mind that she is an ART pregnancy and she is different. Though the management, when it comes to management, it might be the same, but you have to keep certain points, as you have rightly pointed out, that this pregnancy is not a normal conception.
So moving forward, how do you approach first trimester of ART pregnancy? I'm trying to put it as, we all have been learned that way, that first trimester, second and third trimester. So here in normal pregnancies, what we look at is like, once there is the periods are missed, there is a UPT done, and then the patient comes for consultation. But herein, as you all have pointed out rightly, that these patients need to be taken care right from day one of ET. So I have put this 14 days ahead. So like day one of embryo transfer till 13 weeks of gestation. Can ma'am you elaborate like what all things we should look for?
We should take, first of all, we should give progesterone treatment from day one of ET, luteal support, with digoxin, TDS and micronized progesterone.
Yes.
And we should, as soon as if pregnancy beta HCG is positive, after 1 week we should see the scanning. and see for the gestational sac and number of gestational sacs if it is multiple pregnancies or heterogeneous pregnancies. If we should rule out the ectopic pregnancies.
Yes, ma'am.
Along with that, we should see for the OHSS. And once the cardiac activity develops and depending upon the patient's risk, we can start the low molecular weight heparin and aspirin. Otherwise, if everything is normal, she doesn't have any history of abortions and all, then there is no need of giving all these drugs and continue with the progesterone.
Would you start low molecular weight heparin for all ART pregnancies?
No, not in all.
No.
But suppose if a patient has a history of having undergone a ART pregnancy for the first time and she has experienced an abortion at say 7 weeks or 8 weeks after the appearance of the cardiac activity, and now again she has undergone a second attempt and she is now again showing cardiac activity at 7 weeks. So in spite of APLA being negative, or there is no factor suggestive of any kind of pathology which requires LMWH, will you give it?
No, there is no need of. If it is RPL, then I would like to start.
So
Even if it is APLA is negative.
in this particular case, like we would not give heparin, but after the cardiac activity is seen, since there's a history of, we can always start a low dose aspirin for her, HS. I would do that. And most important thing, madam has rightly explained, but when she's IVF conception, there's a role of estrogen also. Like if she's a frozen embryo transfer or a transfer in the elderly patients, you have to start estrogens before, you have to prepare the endometrium. And then you start the progesterone. You see to it that the transfer is on the day 6 of the progesterone.
It is expected when the patient is coming to you, actually.
No, I am saying just the precautions
That
to
is
see to it that she
taken care
doesn't
of
have a.
by the infertility consultant who has done
In case
ART.
you are doing the thing yourself, if she's come from some infertility consultant conceived, then I think she comes at the end of 3 months.
So
Abruptly, E2 should not stop. If she
And
is
E2
on
E2, yeah, shouldn't
if
be
she is
stopped.
on E2, we should not stop abruptly the E2. Gradually, dose should be
Tapered down.
gradually, and
yeah, so we
according to luteal support also means progesterone dose and estrogen dose should be matched.
yes. So if
I have a question.
Yes.
I am not an ART consultant. I am an average gynecologist. When a patient comes from an ART consultant, she is on many progesterones at a time. So can you put progesterone doses and which type of progesterones we should continue? Because in books there are some different data,
Yes.
and in actual practice we see many progesterones for a single patient. So
Ideally, progesterone, which if the patient come from ART clinic to you, you should continue that progesterone for a few days and then gradually again progesterone dose should also
Umesh,
happen.
what Rajesh wants to know is, he is not a ART consultant. His query is to know what type of progesterone and how much dose you should give.
See,
That's all.
injectable progesterone we should stop after UPT comes positive, not positive.
See, I will take that answer because you know what his question I know. See, when the patient comes from an infertility consultant, there's an array of medicines on. 10, 12, 15, the whole page is of all medicines, you know. Sab masala diya jata hai, right from vitamin D and everything. So now, progesterone, the best route is intramuscular because you know that much amount is going there. Oral, we don't know what is the bioavailability. Vaginal patients, Indian patients, they are little scared of vaginal because they feel, asa kai aat takla to bleeding hoil na bhai, mag padel na bhai. So best is to give IM, as he
So
rightly
the
said.
I will differ
100
with this.
milligram.
I would
IM.
summarize, I mean, as madam rightly said, progesterone is, there are oral, vaginal and intramuscular. Intramuscular, more than 60 kg, 100 milligram per day. Less than 60 kg, 50 milligram per day. And what you need is only full white. Other medications are adjuvants, which if needed, depending upon the history of the patient, you will need to add on. Because injectable progesterones are oil-based preparation, they are very painful and has to be continued at least for 66 to 76 days. So some patients would not prefer. In that case, you have a choice of oral or vaginal. The other second preferred option is vaginal option, wherein again weight is the criteria, because weight, height, and so 400 milligram BD intravaginally micronized progesterone, not SR preparation. The SR preparation's bioavailability is only 20%, while intravaginal micronized preparation, the bioavailability at the endometrium level is almost 90%. So the decidual changes which we want occurs in 48 hours. So 400 milligram BD to be continued till 9 weeks, 10 weeks,
10 weeks.
depending upon the consultant choice. The third Lotus trial for the oral one, which is now established, multicentric trial all over the world in all 5 continents, is 10 milligram dydrogesterone, that is Dufastan, TDS 8 hourly to be continued as recommended. So all these 3 routes are now established. SR preparation does not have a role. Now your another question was, all 3 should be given? It should not be given. It's been very clear. Now there are another laboratory aspect to it. First half there is a lot of investigation, hormonal evaluation is done, but second half we really don't do it. If you are the recommended dose, the blood level serum progesterone, there is a varied range between 7 nanogram per deciliter to more than 40. Intramuscular, the systemic level comes very fast. Within 48 hours. So more than 40 is the cutoff criteria. There, the decellulation happens fast. But if you give vaginal, the level may not come, systemic level may not, because what we are measuring through blood is systemic level. But endometrial biopsies have documented that even 7-8 nanogram per deciliter. So route is also important. So with blood level, if you have to take the route in consideration to interpret. Am I clear?
We can use even Crignon gel if it is available.
Yeah, gel is also
Once in a day,
vaginal
HS.
route, so that can be also used, gel or vaginal pessaries. Yeah. So just summarizing as per the panelists what we have told, that we can have the history, because now the patient, I have done an IVF, patient is from Prusad. So I have, the patient has gone to madam. So madam, looking at the papers, will take down the history in terms of like what is the age, how long was the duration, because the complications happen accordingly. Any uterine surgeries, because if there is hysteroscopic surgeries, adhesiolysis has been done, septum, then chances of defective placentation or placenta percreta, accreta is common. Any family history of congenital abnormalities, then you need to recommend investigation at this juncture in first trimester. Like what was the indication for ART? Other medical problems. So investigation will go accordingly. Why I mentioned first day of embryo transfer, because even OHSS, it starts appearing on 4th day of embryo transfer. I have referred back the patient to madam thinking that everything was fine. But OHSS can happen with minimal dose, that HCG is a trigger. So with 7 oocytes recovered, it can happen. So what are the signs, symptoms? When the patient can become, critical, needs to be, communication with the primary consultant, it should happen. So those kind of inputs I would like to have.
So the take-home message is your IVF consultant has to be hand in gloves with the person with all detailed notes written.
Yes. So that is another good message which madam has given, that every IVF consultant must write a summary of what has been done, like what was the stimulation dose, what was the protocol, what trigger was given, and what all to look for. So when would you recommend a scan, ma'am, in these patients? Like first scan?
First time after 15 days.
First trimester scan is very important. As soon as UPT comes positive, early scan, then to see the activity, cardiac activity, deceleration, number of pregnancies.
Most of the ART pregnancies are documented by serum levels of beta
Serum
HCG,
beta
because
HCG.
again quantitative evaluation is done to predict the number of sacs and accordingly the complications.
Beta HCG after 10 days of transfer.
Okay.
And then transvaginal sonography. Even if you see a gestational sac, so whether this is ongoing pregnancy, then for the viability, and of course whether it's a singleton or a double or a triple, so depending on that, with the counseling with the couple, we can decide whether you want to go for amnio reduction or not.
Yes.
So
And then NT scan
and
is
then of course the
very
NT scan.
important at
The
after
NT scan
11 weeks
later.
of-
Let her talk.
So
NT scan after the 11 weeks of pregnancy. At 11
so first 14 days are also crucial, like as you all mentioned, like OHHS is one of the, now it is reduced, But then ectopic pregnancy, the incidence of ectopic pregnancy in ART pregnancies are pretty high as compared to general population. That is 1 in 500. Here it is almost 2.3%. So you need to keep in mind, normally it's a clinical practice that you see an intrauterine sac, you are comfortable. You don't look at, the mind has a block. Once you see a sac inside, but here, you need to keep in mind, because these are the patients who are either cases of tubal factor PID, wherein the chances of ectopic is high. Another thing is heterotropic pregnancy. You can have intrauterine as well as extrauterine. So if one has this situation, let's say 6 weeks scan you have done, there are, it's a high order pregnancy, like there are 3 pregnancies, 2 in the sac and 1 in the tube. So how do we go ahead about this?
We can.
So two in the sac on the
It's a case of heterotropic pregnancy, 2 gestational sacs in the uterine cavity and 1 in the tube.
So what would be the
Selective reduction of embryos means the sac, if it is in if it is ectopic, definitely laparoscopy. No way. You have to do laparoscopy.
But and any special precautions you will recommend during surgery?
Increasing luteal support again, and follow-up is again important for heterotropic pregnancy or ectopic pregnancy.
Since Umesh is a very dynamic endoscopic surgeon, during surgery what do you recommend? Like
Of course, uterine handling should be minimal, and if you have to do it, make it
Rightly said.
gentle.
Yes,
and
yes.
with low CO2 pressure, everything.
So what you would do? You would do a salpingectomy or you'd instill?
Salpingectomy.
Okay.
Because instilling can also hamper the other uterus.
Salpingectomy would be the right, because she's already having intrauterine pregnancy and gone through ARD, so we are really not concerned about the tube. So salpingectomy, that would be a definitive management, so that will definitely have the safer outcome. Madam, you would
Acha,
like to
I
add
want
on?
to ask one question. If how much time we should wait for the doing the ectopic? If, means we should wait till the cardiac activity appears. No, as soon as
no,
if
no,
you see
no
the
way.
gestational sac and then we
No
go
way.
for the
So
laparoscopy.
if you have ectopic, no intrauterine pregnancy, then
That is-
then it becomes the routine management.
Okay.
But here in ART pregnancies, the beta HCG correlation is a problem. Normally, what the literature says is for routine patients, but here usually you have multiple pregnancies, so you cannot really predict the beta HCG correlation. You need to keep a high degree of suspicion. If you don't see anything intrauterine, you need to take care of Doppler, periodic scan within 48 hours, 36 hours, and look for if you are suspecting an ectopic. So depending upon that, if you don't have an intrauterine pregnancy, then it becomes like a management in like a routine patient.
So if there's nothing in the uterine cavity and you suspect that it's in the tube, as you rightly said, 48 hours or 36 hours you keep on doing Dopplers, and it's prudent to wait in this case because maybe that
That's
pregnancy
what, then
might
it
come
becomes like
in
a
the
routine management of our ectopic. But suppose you have an intrauterine pregnancy and you have an ectopic, then really don't delay it because you cannot give methotrexate in this patient. And then it is better that, as Umesh has rightly elaborated to us, go ahead with endoscopy and take care of that thing. And usually the patients do well. The routine care as the progesterone support, whatever you were giving, because the fact that whatever support you gave, there were 2 pregnancies, so the same support would continue and the patient would go as like any other ANC patient. That's it.
Now next is, if you see 3 sacs and 3 fetal poles in the uterine cavity, what will be the next step? It's a multiple pregnancy.
Wait up to
Fit.
10 weeks and then do selective reduction.
First counseling
Selective reduction.
Of course.
What is the preferred period? Umesh, at what period of gestation would you like to go
Sir,
ahead?
there are 2 thoughts. Some people do early reduction, like 9 to 10 weeks, and some people do around 11 weeks.
So what do
The advantage of doing 11-week reduction is you can do the scan of the fetuses and you can see which is better good fetus. And if there is one of the fetus abnormal out of that 3 or 2, we can do reduction of that abnormal fetus and we can give weightage to the good
detection on
fetus.
basis
Yeah.
of what?
NT
scan.
scan.
At
Only NT?
early NT scan.
Only NT?
Of course, biochemical markers and all, but it will take, so scan is always preferable.
See,
If
most
the facility is available, you can do the CVS of and the fish analysis for chromosome 13, 18, 21, X and Y, and then decide. Because usually the fish gives you report immediately the next day. But the facility should be available at your center or maybe in the same town. Then you can select the fetus which is to be reduced. What is the disadvantage of doing it earlier? As you said, that there are two schools of thought. That some people prefer to do it at maybe 8 or 9 weeks also.
Sir, the-
What is the
Earlier
disadvantage in
reduction,
this case?
you know, people do whichever is most accessible, that
Lowest
we
down.
do simply.
Lowest one.
Uh, And in that thing, you cannot get the embryo which we are preserving, not preserving, we
What
are
is the-
allowing to grow.
I just want to ask you, what is the
If
disadvantage of doing it at 7 weeks and what is the advantage of
There
doing
are
it at
more
a later
chances of
gestation?
abortion
We
again.
may reduce the normal fetus.
Sir,
Pregnancy
because-
loss rate is more if you
Yeah.
do it at early gestation.
Another
So, and
important
we-
aspect, as you mentioned, because if you do early, then the chances of cytoreductive abnormalities are also high.
So and then maybe what he said rightly, you know, a normal fetus also might be terminated, sort of. So the right way is to do the NTs and
around
do the
11
scans and do the fish wherever facilities are available and go ahead with the
Madam, what
reduction.
would be the preferred way of doing the fetal reduction, transvaginal or transabdominal?
That depends.
Abdominal.
That depends on how he's comfortable
Learning
with.
curve and the preference. If you would like to delay it up, that you want to have an elaboration of NT scan and the investigation, then transabdominal becomes better. The statistics says that transabdominal reduction procedures has less number of abortion rate as compared to the transvaginal.
Exactly.
But it's the expertise of your own expertise. If you are very comfortable doing transvaginal, fair enough. But the literature says that transabdominal has less percentage of abortion as compared to the.
So it is a preferred way.
Yeah.
Preferred.
So let's move because we have less time. How do you approach second trimester specifically? What all things, as we NT scan and everything in first trimester, second trimester?
In investigations,
Yes, ma'am.
routine investigation all.
Yes,
OGCT is important.
yes.
No.
These patients are
And scan at 18 weeks
Yes,
again
16
to
to
rule out
18 weeks.
anomalies.
Yes, ma'am.
So I would mention a thalassemia here. I mean, in routine investigations, one should include thalassemia, thyroid. I do it completely.
Yeah, we-
And
we
then,
take
of course,
this
as she said rightly,
Very-
ahead.
very
Quadruple
well
marker
said,
test,
ma'am.
quadruple
We
marker.
can have
Actually-
this as a screening also.
Baseline screening, we have
Yeah.
thalassemia,
In
sir.
ARD,
The
most of
first
the
entry
centers do
is,
it,
yeah.
Because if both the couple, I mean the partners
both
are
are-
minor, then your chances,
have to.
because you need to recommend CVS to them at around 9 to 10
Yeah, because
weeks.
25% chances are
Yeah,
that the fetus
of
might be
having a
affected.
major
Yeah,
child.
yeah.
Sir, I would say in
HB
second
electrophoresis.
trimester, these patients are more toward elderly age, means around 35, 32. So we need to get more concerned about PIH, sugar, gestation
Yes.
diabetes. These things should be monitored vigorously in second and third trimester. Out of then first trimester after doing luteal support. Otherwise, these are like normal pregnancies after
Correct.
since second trimester.
Correct. Now my next question. Yes.
To see the PID, predict the PID.
Correct. Now
It
Sheetal,
would be
my-
little earlier. I think 14 weeks when you send for that
12 weeks also I
NT scan at the same
Skeletal
time.
Scan and then fetal
Yeah.
echo, that would take care
That
of
would-
everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, what is your opinion about the, like, cervical length and
We-
ostating? Because most 20% of the patients have multiple gestation.
Sheetal, I have a patient who is twin pregnancy. She is 16 weeks of gestation. The cervical length is 4.2 centimeter and she has conceived in the second attempt of ART. Okay? So first attempt was a failure. She aborted at 7 to 8 weeks. Now she has conceived. She is 16 weeks and twin gestation and the cervical length is 4.2 centimeters. Would you straight away advise ostating to her?
No. No. The panel says no.
Nowadays it
Twin
is said that
pregnancy-
prophylactic stitches should be given.
No, no.
Prophylactic stitch.
Twin pregnancies, they behave like a normal pregnancy. Though in singleton pregnancies, the incidence of complications is more with ART pregnancies than spontaneous conception. So multiple pregnancies, they should be treated like a normal pregnancy, and there is no role of encerclage and in progesterone.
Just one thing, we should do serial sonography to see for the cervical length.
Yeah,
That
she
is
should be
one.
monitored more often.
Monitoring.
At this period of gestation, you will not advise her. So the panel agrees that unnecessary putting a prophylactic stage is a strict
No.
Yes, correct.
What is the role of progesterone supplementation? Because a lot of patients do get supplementation for a long. So what has the panel to say on that?
Again on cervical length.
No. Yeah, what she says is right. See, normally you give it up to 10 to 12 weeks. After that, you are going to reassess her cervical length. If you feel that the cervical length is taking up, then we would suggest progesterone
Okay. Any
prophylactically.
other, opinion?
No need of luteal support after first trimester.
Fine. So the panel has a consensus that it should not be given. There is enough literature available to say that progesterone has a tocolytic effect.
Yes.
And these patients who are, patients going through ART usually have prolonged infertility. They have subtle medical problems like, subtle cervical incompetency, subtle way of medical disorder, borderline cases, because these are the reasons for their subfertility. They are not infertile, they are subfertile. So again, in ART, almost 20 to 25% of the patients have twin gestation, and we know that in twin gestation, 25% of them would land up in preterm labor, PROM at around 28 weeks. So there are two school of thoughts. One says that prophylactic os tightening should be encouraged in these patients, not to all, but keeping in mind the history of the patient, any past uterine surgeries like septum resection, because septum resection has a greater association with cervical incompetency, multiple gestation, borderline diabetic patients, you will have polyhydramnios, overstretching. So patient, when we look at the patient in ANC at around 14 weeks, and usually the advice is come back after 4 weeks. So in that 4 weeks, there is significant amount of cervical changes can happen. It's a first pregnancy and precious pregnancy. Patients have gone through ART 3-4 attempts. Again, she becoming, losing a pregnancy and trying for another pregnancy is a challenge to an ART consultant. So there are individual thoughts, and literature does back up that prophylactic os tightening in selective ART patients, particularly in multi-order pregnancy, is recommended.
So in this case, like as you said, if there is a incision on the uterus, during the treatment, agreed. But if there is no other history and just her cervical length is also good, like 4.2 he said.
Yes.
So prophylactically just putting, because she's a twins and she might go in preterm, there is the other end of the story also. If she comes leaking after 2 weeks, then they are going to put the blame on your putting the knot.
No, it's a question of
So,
scientific analysis.
Yeah, so then it is very
It's not a question
important.
of blame.
So it's very important, like
Yeah.
the case which you decide for os tightening.
Yeah, it has to be individualized, but in a group of patients, you should be more liberal as compared to routine, spontaneous conception patients. Because 25% of them will land up with, and the financial burden of an ICU, the psychological burden of losing a child is catastrophic. So, individualize a patient, but one can be liberal. It's not wrong if you are putting a stitch.
Role of pre and probiotic along with progesterone. Role of pre and probiotic along with progesterone.
As good as placebos, particularly in
Nowadays people are freely using prebiotics along with progesterone.
doesn't have a literature backup, particularly patients who have had bacterial vaginosis. These are the patients where it can be recommended.
Vaginal progesterone, then sometimes that increases the chances of vaginal infection. So in that case,
Absolutely right.
this problem.
So I'm
Cerclage, people go with the prebiotics so as to avoid the vaginal infection. That's a rule.
Yeah, I mean, as rightly pointed out, but again in cerclage, don't use the multi-braided thread. You can use a monofilament thread like a Prolene or so. Then giving periodic vaginal pessaries prophylactically, like every month from day 1 to day 7, you can give prophylactic Clingen or something. That would also take care. And now you have vaginal probiotics also. So that would also take care, because that is going to act locally. So one can have that option. But otherwise, oral is not, literature doesn't back up that. ये तो? Yeah.
So now we have completed the first, second trimester, and now we are in the third trimester. So anyone can take up the question, whoever wants to answer. What will be your approach in third trimester? Now she is, say, around 30 weeks of gestation.
See, in the third trimester, most important is the baby now, because she's a precious pregnancy, all that history and all. So you have to do the color Dopplers and see where your baby stands. Do the cervical lens, of course, you know. And at the same time, you see the fitness part of the patient. There is a CBC routine. Her sugars have to be done. 75-gram loading dose with 2 hours or OGTT, whatever. And see her BP and see her color Dopplers, uterine artery. So like, you know, medically also the mother has to be seen as well as the baby. And I would prefer to give 2 doses of betamethasone here, because in case she lands up in an early delivery, the steroids will help the baby to have a lung maturity.
Exactly. So,
Anything else?
So, Rajesh, if you want to give a steroid to this patient, anticipating that she is going to land up in delivery soon, what would be your preferred drug and what will be the dosage schedule for steroid?
Betamethasone 12 milligram intramuscular at a gap of 24 hours, 2 doses. And I would like to prolong the pregnancy at least for 48 hours, so that the betamethasone will act and the baby will
Now, if
help.
you are anticipating a delivery at, say, 32 weeks of gestation, would you recommend magnesium sulfate
Yeah,
for any
definitely.
reason?
For neuroprotection, it
Correct.
is indicated.
Correct. So it offers a great advantage, particularly in preterm labor, as everybody agrees with that. Magnesium sulfate does offer a great protection in neural
Neuroprotection.
complications.
Can anybody elaborate how the magnesium sulfate should be given?
How would you give the magnesium sulfate?
It should be given over 24 hours, 1 milligram per hour in a slow drip manner. At least the drip should go for 24 hours, so the baby will get the adequate effects of magnesium sulfate.
The loading dose is, I think, 4 grams
4
in
grams.
200 ml of NS, and then you give as 1 gram per hour in 24 hours.
Till the delivery. I think.
Yeah, whichever is earlier.
What is the time when you start this?
As soon as possible, if we are anticipating the delivery, you should start it as early as
So
possible.
once the patient is around 3 centimeter, now we know that she's not going to revert back. That is the time you start with the loading dose and then continue 1 gram per hour till the patient delivers. So one can have. Any role of phenobarb?
No.
No. Previously it was practiced for IC bleed. So as pointed out, now mode of delivery. This is a very controversial thing. But
Again, depending
Sir,
upon the patient.
if it is a precious pregnancy, straight away I will say infertility duration more than 10 years, 7-8 years. Patient age is up to around 35 years. I will directly tell patient to go for seizure.
Nowadays
Unless I-
we
patient
will
only
have two
told.
answers: C-section or trial of delivery.
Unless
Patient only
C-section,
tells us
sir.
that we
Unless she
don't want
comes really
rescue
fully
actually.
dilated. C-section, sir, unless she comes fully dilated. And you know, you have to just wear
second
gloves and
factor,
deliver.
mother is not at risk for C-section.
Patient only tells us कि please do my cesarean section. I don't want any
relatives, मुहूर्त निकाल के आएंगे.
That is the practical part of it.
So would you
main
practice
thing-
cesarean on demand? Does it have legal ground in India?
No.
Sir, we have to.
No.
So,
But it's mutual understanding of patient and doctor.
No.
It has come in Foxy
Yeah,
now
yeah.
that one of the indications now is
On demand.
It has very much valid that the patient has like they don't want trial of labor, they don't want labor pains. You can very well write indication LSCS on demand.
I just want to add one thing. It's not a part of this thing. Every pregnancy is precious for that mother, whether it's a spontaneous conception or ART, because ART patients have gone through a lot of treatment and they know that their future chances of fertility are compromised. We have to take this decision in the best interest of the patient also.
This is another important aspect. Like handling this pregnancy, multifocal gestation is there. Yeah. So this we have already discussed out. And it's like fetal reduction, like teamwork. That was one thing which is, yeah. So whenever you are handling these patients, teamwork is very important. So would you like to elaborate on that?
Yes, anesthetist, physician,
Yeah.
your pediatrician.
Sir,
It is always a teamwork. You should always inform your anesthetist, your pediatrician, and along with that, if she has medical problems, you have to combine with the physician approach, and you have to see if it is a premature delivery. You have to see about the NICU facilities for the
Yes.
baby also.
So when we are practicing in periphery, these are the things, I mean, that is what I would like. So if one of my patient is from Pusat, let's say, Pusat, what is the NICU outcome like? 1.5 kg baby going home, percentage is 90%, it's worth giving a trial. But 1 kg baby, 50% mortality. But if you go to a higher center like
One is
Akola,
to-
1 kg, 80% of them go home.
In utero shift of such patient
Yes,
to
that
the
would be.
better
So
of.
one
So-
has to keep in mind all the statistics.
sir, anticipation is very important.
Yes.
Team counseling is very important, including the team partners which have been mentioned here, and the couple, of course, the patient and the husband. And most important is, I would suggest the anesthesiologist should see the patient well before and should recommend whatever investigations are required. Blood bank has to be there. And depending on the POG of the baby, you should decide the place of delivery. Because as he rightly said, in vitro transfer is always better rather than, Pusat se Akola jane tak bachcha ka problem ho sakta hai. So it's really a teamwork, sir.
Yeah.
So the
Counseling.
plan of the pregnancy should be discussed at the entry level so that the patient knows what things to be done at what time. So they will be ready to shift at any time. So prior counseling at the time of booking for the first visit, every plan should be discussed with the patient and the team of all the things, radiologists, anesthetists, pediatrician, they should be the best quality
Yes.
on which you rely. They should
Team
be.
with coordination is there. In this team, what is the role of family members? Do we must talk or we should not talk?
We must
Very
talk.
important.
Counseling
They are
is very
important,
important.
sir.
Yes. So that's also it's as important as these people backup. And shall we talk about the finances?
So about finances, you have to be really transparent with the patient. They should have an idea at the back of the mind how much will be needed to spend. Because otherwise, what happens, if you don't talk before, then they say, "Nine manasa bagun tumi package karta." So what is the paying capacity and accordingly. I think everybody of us should be transparent with the patient. Prior to 2 months prior, you have to have a counseling that this baby might need an in vitro transfer. Then it might need an NICU facility. NICU kitna din lagega, gynecologists don't know. So the neonatologist takes over. So they keep on eating your brains. By ani kiti divas peti thevnar. We are not knowledgeable, sir. We don't know anything about NICU. So that is very important because the costings over there, they go very high. NICU. Very high, 4 times more than what we are. So, they have to be given a particular amount. की बाबा एवढे पैसे तुम्ही तयार ठेवा. कमी लागले तर चालतं सर, पण जास्त लागले तर गोंधळ होतो मग.
Absolutely. So thank you very much, the panelists. They have
Thank you, sir.
really
Thank you.
highlighted the topic. Thank you so much.